if you can imagine today, there are so many YouTubers, and YouTubers actually make a lot of money through everything that they do. And the ability to say that, look, I am investing me, and then you'd be able to reap benefits in 6 months' time or 1 year time, that's very powerful. So this, this human stock market, let's call it, is something that's going to go very viral very soon, because the fact is that, people today have potentials, and you want to sell your potential basically to your investors.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have a highly anticipated interview guest. You guys have been asking me to have Zilliqa here on the channel for a while, so really excited that this day is here. It has come. So today I've got Amrit Kumar, the co-founder and president of Zilliqa here. So Amrit, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for inviting me over. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, I really have gotten a lot of requests to have you on, and so I'm really excited, and I'm sure a lot of the audience are going to be stoked. So I always like to start off interviews with just a high-level overview for people that aren't really familiar. So just tell us a little bit about what Zilliqa is and what you guys have built.
Sure. So Zilliqa is a blockchain platform similar to Ethereum and other blockchains that you see around today. So when we started in 2017, we had two problems that we wanted to solve in the blockchain space. One was around scalability. So we had seen issues with CryptoKitties. We had seen, even today, we see every other day the fees that you have to pay for transactions is growing. Sometimes it varies from $15 to up to $200 to $300. So this was one problem that we wanted to solve. We wanted to make sure that the blockchain platform is scalable enough to be able to handle a decent volume of transactions. And number two was around smart contract safety. So we felt that we had seen incidents like DAO hacks happen. We saw incidents like parity happen, and we felt that you can't just wait and watch and hope that developers will become smarter over time, or tools will become smarter over time and prevent those bugs from happening or prevent those attacks from happening. So instead, we felt that one approach to fix this is to be able to design a safer smart contract language that could prevent some of these mistakes at the language level directly. So so these are basically two key features that we wanted to work on. One was scalability, and the other one was providing developers a safe smart contract language to work on.
Let's dive into that a little bit more. How is the safety around smart contracts different on Zilliqa than, let's say, Ethereum or other blockchains that have smart contracts?
So in terms of safety, if you look at the history of smart contract languages, of course, the most obvious one and the most popular one is Solidity. So it's a language that's currently being used for Ethereum smart contracts. So the way Solidity was designed, it was designed from a features perspective. So it wanted to make it generic enough so that people could write all sorts of applications. But what ended up happening was that it sort of sacrificed in terms of security. So basically, if you think about it, there's a sort of trade-off between how usable and how friendly a contract language could be and how auditable a contract could be. So the more features you allow in a contract, the more mistakes people will make. So that's kind of the basic trade-off. So we felt that while Solidity was tilted on more on the usability side, we felt that we could tilt for Zilliqa, we could tilt the other way around. So we felt that, so basically when we designed the smart contract language that we call Scylla, it's designed with safety in mind. Yes, you can write any contract that you see today in Ethereum in Scylla, but yes, it will prevent you from doing certain things that Solidity allows you to do, and yet you're not recommended to write those contracts in that way. So it basically sort of restricts you in certain specific ways so that you don't make mistakes.
That makes sense. So I'm curious, what are some of the main applications and uses and things that are being built on top of Zilliqa right now?
Yeah, so obviously, DeFi has been, one of the crazy application domain, and in a way, it has shown to people that it has been the only product, I would say, apart from stablecoins. Again, stablecoins is sort of a part of DeFi in some sense, but basically, DeFi has really shown that this is one area that has really seen product market fit in the blockchain industry. So that was really powerful. So we obviously made some inroads in DeFi as well. So we launched a staking program that has been hugely successful. We have close to $1 billion worth of assets in the staking contract. Again, written in that the smart contract language that I was talking about. We had DEX, Uniswap-like DEX that was launched. Again, it was hugely successful. We don't have too many tokens yet. But even with just three main tokens that we have live on that DEX, we have been able to hit around 100 close to $1,520 million worth of TVL in that contract, which puts us in number 7 or number 8 in terms of DEXs that are on Ethereum. Awesome. And again, mind you, these DEXs have been on Ethereum, have been there for ages and ages. Right. While the DEX that we launched, it's probably 3 months old, roughly speaking. Mm-hmm. So that kind of so we made DeFi has been a key focus area. We have also launched sort of stable coins as well. So we have a Singapore dollar-backed stable coin issued by a company called Xfizz that has been live. And now we are obviously making some inroads into NFTs as well. So that's really exciting, given that the community and the space is looking forward to what NFT can offer them.
That is a perfect segue, because that is definitely one of the big things I wanted to chat about with you and hear more about what you guys are doing. Obviously, NFT is the big word on the street right now. Actually, it's been amazing to see the amount of mainstream attention NFTs are getting right now. It's kind of blowing my mind, to be honest. But you guys have been really tapping into that and doing some really cool partnerships with celebrities. Like, kind of walk us through what you guys are doing in the NFT space right now.
Right. So I would say that the whole NFT space for us started back when, I think, around 2018. When unstoppable domains were sort of starting up. So unstoppable domain is a domain name system similar to ENS. So you can basically point your account address to, let's say, amrit.zil, and you can send money directly to amrit.zil. So in a way, amrit.zil, which is your domain name, basically becomes an NFT. Mm-hmm. So basically, the whole thing started back then with unstoppable domains and those the domain name systems. But obviously, since then, things have evolved a lot. We developed a marketplace together with this company called Mintable. Mm-hmm. And so this is a marketplace similar to OpenSea and Rarible and so on. So it's a marketplace where you can trade and auction your sell your NFTs. And now we have been looking into talking with celebrities to make sure that some of these people are getting excited about what they can do with. We saw Elon Musk recently playing around with NFTs as well. So we have been talking to celebrities as well. We had Soulja Boy, who is a rapper in the US. You guys probably would know him. He launched an NFT on Zilliqa. We had another DJ musician star called Star Killers, who launched again an NFT on top of Zilliqa. And again, this whole thing doesn't just stop on celebrities that are musician and art, people, but you can imagine all sorts of artists. Very recently, I think it was just today, when Mintable, the marketplace, announced a very huge, interesting painting that was sort of listed on Mintable. So that was interesting. And again, we are looking into all walks of life where people like sports stars would be interested in tokenizing some of their work, and that's something we're really, really excited and looking forward to.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was a question I had for you, just to kind of about the culture on Mintable. I feel like each NFT platform has its own kind of vibe. Like, I would say Rarible is maybe a little bit more like, hey, anyone that wants to post something, where there's other, NFT platforms that are a little bit more like, curated kind of higher end art, if you will. And so are you guys really trying to make an inclusive platform, or are you kind of catering to one audience versus another, or how does that look?
So for the time being, Mintable, the way it's designed and architected, it's a very generic platform. So you would see, as I mentioned, you'd see unstoppable domain like NFTs as well. You would see art. So you would see paintings, digital art. You would see music being auctioned, being sold on Mintable as well. But yeah, it's a generic platform. The benefit probably compared to some of the platforms out there is that when you mint your tokens and when you mint your NFTs, you don't pay to the platform. You only pay when you actually get sold and traded. So that's something that I think is unique with Mintable. I'm not sure if other platforms have the same service, but there's something that's really unique.
No, that is really cool. And then I would imagine the fees are lower than,
of course, you mint something on Ethereum today and it will cost you, I don't know, probably $50, which also means that no one is going to buy or trade or sell an NFT that's really cheap in that sense. So if you simply do a simple image that doesn't cost $60 million, that's the place where you could basically utilize the fact that the gas fees are much cheaper on Zilliqa.
Mm-hmm. So another interesting kind of piece of news that I saw is that you guys recently invested in Xcademy, which is really interesting to me because I've seen a few different projects try to kind of tackle this idea of helping content creators, mint their own token or tokenize themselves. And it's a tricky thing that I haven't necessarily seen done super well yet. And so I'd love to hear just kind of in general, like, what is Xcademy like? Tell us a little bit more about that and how you guys are approaching that.
Right. So again, I agree with you, which when you mentioned this, this has been sort of attempted in the past in some way, maybe not with the full blow or full
Right.
capacity, but it certainly has been tried in the past. And I would say that sometimes it's just the timing. When you start something, for example, if you talk about lending protocols on Ethereum or DeFi, flavors of lending protocol existed even 2 years, 3 years ago,
Right.
but they were not very popular because there was no demand, there was no composability back then. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you borrow, you didn't have the market to be able to sort of spread that out. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's also about timing when you know that there is you have to launch your product at the right time, and this I think which is very very critical in terms of Xcademy. Obviously, if you can imagine today, there are so many YouTubers, and YouTubers actually make a lot of money through everything that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability to say that, look, I am investing me, and then you'd be able to reap benefits in 6 months' time or 1 year time, that's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So this human stock market, let's call it, is something that's going to go very viral very soon, because the fact is that people today have potentials, and you want to sell your potential basically to your investors. And anyway, in the regular world, when you start a startup today, most investors of course they invest in your idea, but a big portion of that also they invest because of the person itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a certain founder who has done certain thing in the past, or because he has the potential to do something really remarkable, is when investors start to invest in those people.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is exactly sort of what you can extend it to people themselves, and you say, look, I'm a YouTuber, I'm capable to drive engagement towards my consumers, and I can drive engagement towards advertisers and companies who are using me in some way, and therefore why not invest in me directly? So I feel that that's very powerful. So again,
Mm-hmm.
the person who is leading this, Oliver, who has been in the crypto space for a long time, has been involved with Zilliqa for a long time, and I'm very very glad that he started this project together with some of the YouTuber friends that he has. And I'm looking forward to where it goes. But yeah, it's something that I'm looking forward to in a very excited manner, I would say.
That's really interesting. Like, imagine being able to invest in like Elon Musk even 2 or 3 years ago, right? Like, where you'd be doing, how you'd
Yeah.
be doing right now. Like,
It's,
I
it's
mean, I
like
know
it's
that's like
like
the
writing a
extreme
book.
example, but
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like writing a book. To do it, for example, when you imagine, for example, I'm the first author, or this is my first book, and I know that I'm very capable of writing a good book.
Mm.
But yes, I need someone to invest in me so that I can cover my expenses. And this is, for example, where I would ask for investors to invest in me, and then
Mm.
they would get royalty out of my book. So that's kind of one model that you're just extending it to YouTubers, but that's basically the same model in some sense.
Okay, so I just want to dig into that even a little bit more because I think that's super interesting of how that works. So, like, let's say that I wanted to do this, right? Would I make a Girl Gone Crypto token, or like how does that work exactly?
Yeah, so you could issue your tokens as well, and then that
Mm.
that can be sort of used on that platform, like Xcademy platform, to
Mm.
be able to incentivize people. So yes, so there are different ways in which they're working on it. One way is that you could tokenize, you could create tokens for yourself as well as a
Mm.
YouTuber.
Got it. Okay. So speaking of tokens, one thing that I wanted to dive into a little bit is the ZIL token, and just walk us through kind of the tokenomics, what role it plays in the ecosystem. Yeah, walk us through the ZIL token a little bit more.
Well, obviously, ZIL is very similar to, I mean, as a platform token, so as a native platform token, it's very similar to Ethereum as well, in the
Right.
sense that you have to use it, or you need to use it to be able to pay for fees. So that's the first utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, because of all the applications that are being built, you can use your ZILs in those applications. For example, let's say staking. So today you can take your ZILs, put that into ZILs, into the staking platform, and on something around 14% or 15% of returns on your tokens.
Wow.
You could take your ZIL and then put that on ZILSwap, which is the DEX, similar to Uniswap. And then again, ZIL is the base currency there. So you will have to provide ZIL as your token, and then some other token, for example, let's say Xcademy token, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could provide that liquidity, and then people could come and trade against that liquidity. So you have that use case as well. You could take your ZILs and you could buy assets on Mintable. So you could buy NFTs using your ZILs on Mintable as well.
Mm. Okay.
So again, many of these things are sort of expanding as well. For example, very soon we'll have a pillar protocol, which is similar to MakerDAO in some sense. So you'd be able to put your ZILs as collateral and then mint stable coins out of it, and then be able to use that as a leverage. So that's something that's coming up as well. In terms of sort of tokenomics as well, so we have all these use cases, but then the good thing about Zilliqa is, which is kind of unique in some sense, Ethereum, by the way, is doing something similar right now, where the idea is that every time you send a transaction, you have to pay certain fees in ZILs for that transaction, but those ZILs actually don't go to the miners. So they're taken out of circulation. So it's in Ethereum, it's going to be burnt, and what we do is we take that out of circulation. So immediately it helps everyone because it sort of increases scarcity in the market. So that's in a way. So the more the network becomes used and gets used, the more ZILs get taken out of circulation. Therefore, help every token holder that out there. So that's kind of one interesting bit that we have on Zilliqa.
No, that is a really interesting point because I know that's a huge topic of conversation right now with everyone wondering if that actually is going to help with Ethereum gas fees or not. That's the question on the street. Right. So
we had that for another reason, not for the specific reason that Ethereum has, but in a way that has worked for us. So I hope that it works for Ethereum folks as well.
Absolutely. So to just kind of wrap up, tell us a little bit about what's coming next for the team. What are you guys working on? What are you excited about right now? Kind of let us know what's coming next for Zil.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are coming up next. The first one that I think we are working really aggressive on is around Ethereum Zilliqa bridge. So we are building a bridge to sort of connect Zilliqa and Ethereum. And of course, that bridge is generic enough to be able to connect to other networks as well, including, for example, Bitcoin. Basically, what this means is that once we have this bridge built and ready, then we would be able to move Ethereum or other ERC20 tokens on Ethereum to Zilliqa, and then be able to sort of trade that for a cheaper rate, cheaper fees. So that's something that's coming very soon, hopefully. We take a very pragmatic approach to this. So once we launch, we start with our testing phase, so the entire community can participate in the testing of the whole thing. That also helps us understand some of the pain points in terms of user experience and bugs, for example. And then after that, once we are satisfied that this is well tested, then we go live and in a public setting. We also are working on this Pillar protocol that I mentioned. So Pillar team is, I think it's probably going to open this probably the public testnet very soon. So you'll be able to see and use this Pillar stablecoin, which is the collateralized stablecoin that is going to come out. What else? We are also starting to work on other interoperability projects like ThorChain, which is something that we are also excited about because that becomes more like a cross-chain DEX, allowing people to let's say trade ZILs for other assets or other assets for ZILs. We are NFT is something that's very exciting for us. So that's something that's going to go on for a long time. We are going to keep working on improving Mintable as a platform. One of the key areas that I think we are going to work on is around payments. So right now, the only choice that you have, if you want to buy NFTs, is to pay is using ZILs. So we are trying to extend it using stable coins and other assets as well. So that's something that will come up as well. Zilliqa Capital that we recently announced, which is a venture sort of ecosystem, a venture arm of Zilliqa Research. So that will also bring some news, hopefully very soon, once we have that up and going. Yeah, I mean, I can go on forever. There's so many things.
I was gonna say, you guys aren't bored over there at all, are you?
Yeah, no, it's a hectic world. It's a world where we have to keep pushing things, and the good thing is that we have way too many ideas and not enough manpower. So it's just that we have to keep hiring more people and make sure that all the ideas that we have internally and what we're hearing from the community can be built in a reasonable time frame. That's something that we have to strive for.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on the show and just give us this overview of Zilliqa and what you guys are building and what you're working on and all the exciting things that are coming up. So, Amrit, thank you so much for coming on the show. I will put links below for everything for people to go check you out. But if someone's watching this interview and they want to check out Zilliqa a little bit more, where's the next best place for them to go?
Well, the best place, in the crypto world is always Twitter. So you go to Twitter and you search for Zilliqa and you land up in the right place. Many of our team members are very active across all social media, whether it be Reddit, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, and so on. So, this is something that I firmly believe in, that every team member at some point of time should be interacting on a regular basis with the team members. So you would stumble upon team members very soon, within a matter of hours or minutes. So yeah, welcome to the community. If you're not a part of the community, join us. We would love to interact with you, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on what we're doing. And thank you very much for inviting me over.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Amrit.